Hey YouTube, Mark Kaufman here, and today I am trying to relax after a rough Monday. I'm having a glass of wine. Wine is Dark Horse Double Down Red Blend, so I'm enjoying that right now. It's been a hectic week, let alone a hectic Monday. And I've just been kind of out of it. I haven't really put out any videos as of late. And it's just been a minute, you know. Life happens, you get busy and just stuff comes up and you just don't have time to make YouTube videos. But I'm gonna try and get back on track and get a few videos out. So I am back. I'm gonna probably be sipping on this through this review, and I have a Rough Rider that I have been looking for probably, I would probably say about a year and a half. I would probably say comfortably about a year and a half. I'm trying to get this lighting right. Yes, yeah, I think that'll work. So about a year and a half, maybe even 2 years, I've been looking for this. And when I started getting back into knives, I wanted to go with slip joints. The first knife I had was a case trapper, and I just went on from there. And I saw one of these, and I said to myself, I have to find one. And at that time, they were still being produced, but I never got around getting one until now, and it wasn't until they were actually discontinued. And that was the Rough Rider RR898. And the Rough Rider 898, yes, 898, is actually a very special Rough Rider. It is a Stockman that has 6 blades to it. And I've been hunting for this knife for a very, very long time. And off screen here, I am attempting to open all 6 knife blades. So just give me a second while I get all of these blades open. Okay, so just give me a second because I really do not feel like cutting myself right now. So there we go. All 6 blades are opened. So this knife has, as far as I can say, every shape blade that I can think of, other than your modern knives. Like, it doesn't have a reverse tanto, it doesn't have anything like that, but it's got your sheep's foot, a small clip, large clip, Spearmaster blade, a Warncliffe blade, and a small pen blade. I have to say, this thing has all of the blades you may need. Now, is this a functional knife? I was talking to Jason over at NebuCloud, and I'm looking to see if I have one of his stickers. Yeah, so go check him out. Love his stuff. And I'm holding that upside down. There you go. Go check him out. But I was talking to him about this knife, and he said this is like a Swiss Army knife. And to be fair, yes, it is. It's very similar to a Swiss Army knife, in that originally knife makers would usually at most have 3 to 4 blades on a knife. Okay, and every once in a while they would produce a knife that had maybe 8, 9, sometimes 10 or 7 or 6 blades. And the only reason they actually did this was because they were competing with other companies to show that their craftsmen and cutlers could produce something like this. Now, in watchmaking, we have something very, very similar to this. In watchmaking, we have something called skeletonized movements. And skeletonized movements are movements that have had almost 70% to even, in some cases, 80% of the structural makeup of the movement removed. And the only reason watchmakers did this originally was as a competition between the Swiss houses or German houses or the French houses of watch manufacturers. And in knife making, this was also a competition. They would try and put as many blades that you could have, I guess, functionally or collapse into the handle as possible. And I have actually seen examples where they've gone a little overboard and they've had even 11 blades. I mean, some of these are a little ridiculous looking, but it's very interesting to see this. Now, am I going to carry this knife? To be honest, as I close all of these, to be honest, no. I am not going to be carrying this. This is going to be a collector's item for me. You can see they all close up just fine. This here is going to be a collector's item for me. I've hunted for this for a while. It's one of the older Rough Riders, not with a Y, but with an I. And I have to say, it's going to be something that I'm going to keep in this condition. I've messaged the seller to make sure that this was never carried, which it has never been carried. This is new old stock. You have no gapping, you've got no problems. I mean, there's a little bit of discoloration on the brass liners and maybe with the covers, but that's just because of age. And there's some storage wear on the nickel silver, but that's not a big deal to me. Now, is this a usable knife? Yeah, I mean, you can use this. You'll have a hard time sharpening all the blades because it's just going to take a while to do it. But let's just compare this to a standard 2-springed knife. Now, this is a Rough Rider Copperhead, okay? And you can see that they're very similar in size. Let me get this box out of the way. But when you actually flip them this way, you can see that the difference there is pretty significant. And it's not a very comfortable knife to carry. It's a little bit of weight in your pocket, and I don't think I would even have a need for all of these blades, to be honest. But it's a knife that I had been hunting. Now, they had another knife that was with, I think it was with Brown Bone, and it was part of their rifle series. And it had a rifle on the front, and then it had brown jigged bone handles. And that one just doesn't scream to me. The yellow covers really scream vintage granddad knife. That's just what I think about when I think of a traditional, either red bone or yellow handles. And for me personally, this is just, it's not a grail, but it was something that I'd been hunting for because it's so unique. You don't usually see a knife with 6 blades. Now, granted, this is a Rough Rider, okay? It is a affordable knife. It's made in China, but even then, the craftsmanship and their ability to get all 6 of these to fit into a handle like this is incredible. And I think it's very, very cool to have something like this. Now, I will say that the small clip is a wonderful, wonderful addition to have in a pocket knife. But the thing that I really wish they would come out with was a Stockman with this large spear blade. I prefer this because it's more utilitarian. You can spread butter with it, you can cut wire with it, you can cut wood with it, and it doesn't have that fragile tip that the clip blade has. So for me personally, if Rough Rider could come out with like a 3-bladed model with a spear point blade like this, I would be all over it. Now, I know there's the Moose, which has a very similar blade, but for me, that spear point, or Spearmaster blade is definitely something that I'd love to have on it. Now, why personally do I want this in my collection? That's something I had to ask myself, and it's a unique piece that would set my collection apart from other Rough Rider collections. I haven't really seen anybody really review this knife. I believe only Cutlery Lover has a video on a 6-bladed Rough Rider up on YouTube. So for me, it was also having something that not very many other people have. And I mean, there are knives that we want that are like that, but it doesn't mean they have to be super expensive. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little review and look-see at this unique knife. And if you liked it, let me know in the comments. I'm sorry I've been away for a while, but I'm getting back into the swing of things. It's just been a crazy week. So till the next video, I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.